This will be a very brief introduction to Digital Sightbox. So I want to thank those of you that were able to join this morning. Um, so Digital Sightbox is the alternative to the traditional job site box. I guess let me introduce myself. So I'm Jamie McCutcheon. I'm with Rymar Waterworks. We're the manufacturer of the Marley Float skimmer. The guys that invented Digital Sightbox are friends of mine, and they've asked us to help them with introducing this to the different states, MS4s, basically because they know I've got at least some connections with that due to working with the Marley Float for several years now. But like I said, Digital Sightbox is a digital solution to the traditional job site box, and we've all experienced issues with that job box. These aren't uncommon pictures. Plans are wet, inspections are wet, plans are not up to date, the occasional wasp nest, etc. That is a constant and common problem on many sites. So, like I said, it's a traditional boxes that are limited on their capacity. They, require you to actually go to the sites. They're not very effective for communication. Lots of times that lack of communication can lead to delays or mistakes in the field. The right plans aren't on site. Again, often wet. These things are definitely not waterproof. And you've only got access to documentation on site, so it's hard to get to know what's out there without going to the site. So benefit of Digital Sightbox, one, there's document sharing, so you can easily share documents and messages instantly. Access anytime, rain or shine, so it's digital, so you can get to it. It's very cost effective. The cost per site is $150 or less per year, which if you look at just the cost to produce a plan set for most jobs, is typically way more than that. And it's a simple sign, easy to put up, easy to maintain, easy for anyone to access. So this is the product in use. So when you have your projects there, you're going to see a list just like a kind of Windows Explorer tool. So it's pretty familiar with different folders, with different project names. You can manage your users. When the project's set up, whoever sets the project up will put in the location. So the lat and long will go in, and we'll use a NOAA for a rain log. So, we recognize that NOAA stations aren't always immediately at the site. Some sites may get thunderstorms or isolated rain events, but at least we've got a decent rain log of what's happened in the area. And then you can secure your digital site box with a PIN. So you can either secure the entire folder or certain folders under the project with a PIN code that does not give general access in case there's something there that is proprietary. The example I use is, if we're doing a site for one certain home builder and they want to put their architectural plans there, but they don't want to have access to maybe a competing home builder for those plans, they can lock that folder and only limit access to it. So inside the box, again, we have the rain log that's powered by NOAA. The digital storage refines what you can make accessible on the site. You basically have unlimited space, so you can upload pretty much anything. You can do PDFs, Word docs, Excel files, pictures, etc. So you can really use it as your storage, anything you want to share. There's a messaging part to this, so it recognizes who logs in, what they look at. It's a time and date stamp for any of that. So you can say, yes, the contractor did look at this, or reviewer did look at this at this certain time. So you know when people got there. And again, you can do the security with a PIN. So one of the big things about this is it is free for municipal users. And this was really geared towards MS4s to get set up. Right now, we're in the rollout stage for Digital Sightbox in most states other than South Carolina. It was started in South Carolina. We've gotten it out there, but other states, we're just now getting it out and getting the word out. So the main point of today's brief webinar is to make sure our municipal users, MS4s, building departments, zoning departments, whoever may need access to those documents, knows how to set up their free account. What we want to do is we want to make sure we get um, those accounts set up before we start rolling it out to contractors, engineers, developers, inspectors in your area. The great thing about this for municipal users is when the project is set up, the person that sets it up creates that location and also identifies the MS4 or other entity, governmental agency that's involved. And then that site will automatically show up in that municipal user's account. And so, you'll just log into your account and you'll see every site that's in your area at that time. So what you'll do is just, set it up. So you just put in your first and last name, your job title, your email, and whatever password you want to do. You'll get a email response, and it will confirm, through that email, confirm your account. We do look at those email addresses to make sure they are governmental users. This is intended for governmental agencies, so please use your governmental email address when you set that up. If you're, sometimes we have governmental folks that are doing other work on the side somewhere else. Maybe they're doing an inspector in a different county or whatever. You can create your separate account for that as well if you need it, but make sure to use your governmental email address for your free account. This is our pricing just for information. If a user has up to 50 sites, the cost is $150 per site. If they go over 50 or 50 or more, it drops down to $100 per site. And if it's over 100, it drops down to $75 a site. So, but even at that, basic tier, $150 a site, it's a significant savings over the traditional job box cost of just putting up the box, getting the plans printed, and just the time and effort to get to the site to put things in that box. We do have user management. So we have a couple different user types. So we have an admin or a manager or view only. For most of the governmental folks, you're probably going to be in the view only category. You don't necessarily need to upload or download the projects or add folders, but you'll be able to see everything that's there. However, you can, in the folders, edit PDFs. So even the view only, you can get in and do markups and stuff on the PDFs. You can set user permissions for each project. Again, that's really for the engineer contractor role. Creating projects is very simple. Just hit the plus button, create a new project, and then underneath that, you can create additional folders. You enter the data required, again, project name, location. All of our signs can be scanned in to attach to that project. And then you also, again, set your municipality. And in occasion, let's say it's a city within a county, and the city needs access, and then the county is the MS4. So you can set up multiple municipalities so the project shows up in both municipalities. Again, you can create subfolders. So you just select the plus button to create those. My typical is to do inspections, permits, the plans, and the SWIP. But if you need other stuff, it's basically unlimited what you can do there. And then on each one, you can just duplicate the data for the original project. Uploading is very simple. You hit the little upload button, select the files, whatever file type you have, puts it right into there for you. And then again, we have a PDF viewer. It's capable of reading most documents, and it has annotated features. So pretty easy to go in, mark up, and then save that back. And again, it will time and date stamp and identify who did the saving so you know what went on. And that's done through this message log. So you can put messages in there with importance. It again, time and date stamp it, and let the responsible party know what site needs attention. I mentioned the locking folders. So again, just a simple pin code to be able to put that in. The rain log will identify the rain by date. So how many inches of rain. And it uses NOAA or the ERA 5 to compile the rain log for the site. And then finally, you can archive projects. So once a project's complete, if you want to take that sign and reuse it, you simply archive it. It saves it. So saves it in our server, and so you can access it later. in case you need to go back and look up something. And then it'll be labeled as archived under the archive menu and then separate from your main projects. This is not so much for MS4s, but just to be aware, we do do custom signage. So for our contractors and developers, we have ability to customize the sign to give you marketing. For builders, we can do home site numbers. All of them will create a QR code, and then it'll have the digital, numbers of the code down below as well. This is contact information. So that's our main phone number, the main website, and then sales@rymarwaterworks.com is how you can reach us with any questions. So that's kind of the summary of it, but I want to just run through the actual website. So one thing just to point out, there's no app here, software, or anything. I know a lot of governmental agencies are very particular about, hey, I don't want to have to install software on our devices, whether it's our computer at the office, whether it's a phone or whatever. So this is a simple website, so you can access it with any browser. When you go to the website, this is a landing page. And for those of you that are online, if you would, if you have ability to dual screen here, go with me to this site, just digitalsightbox.us. It's going to come up. If you scroll down, you're going to get down here to municipalities and regulators join here. Simply click that. And what you're going to do is you're going to choose your location so we can set you up, to know what municipal location you're in. Now, we are, like I said, we're relatively new. So if you get here and the county is in place, but the city or a town or whatever is not, please click this. It will go to a contact us and just send us a quick message says, hey, I'm in, Ohio and I'm in Fairfield County, but my city is not listed yet because there's so many different cities and towns out there. We haven't gotten all those updated. Message us that and we'll get it put right for you. Typically within 24 hours, you'll have that up. But assuming your location is there, put in your name, first and last, your job title, your email, whatever password you choose, and click sign up. When you do that, you're going to get go back. You're going to get an access code or an email just to verify your email. And then whenever you're on the job site, you can just scan the QR code on the job, or any projects that are in your area are going to show up in your account. So I'm going to quickly log in to my account. So just log in. Here's Jamie. Log in. For developers, if like I do work with a couple of different development companies, and they're the ones paying for the account. So I've got a little drop down box up here and tells me the different guys that have shared their folders with me. But I'm gonna go here to our DSB content page. So these are examples. And so you can see here's all the different projects that we have listed in our examples. I can click here, go to that. Now I can look at all the information that I have under that project. So go to our SWIPs. So there's a SWIP there. We go to inspection reports. If I want to take a look at the inspection report, it'll pop it up. There's my inspection. And I've got my tools up here if I need to edit or annotate anything. To go back with the back button. This folder is locked, so this is just an example. So if you need to get in, you have to enter your PIN to be able to see what's in that folder specifically. My rain gauge is right here, so I just click on it, and here's the rain data since the project has been set up. Give me all the rainfall information for this location. Over on this side is my time stamp and my messages, so we can see who got into what they looked at, exactly what they did. So anyway, I think that's a pretty good example. Again, this was not intended to be a detailed how to use every single thing on it, but more so just to make MS4s aware of it and hopefully get your account set up. So with that, I will stop and see if we have any questions. You're welcome to unmute and ask, or Um, if you want to use the chat, you can do that too.
Hi.
Hey, Shelley.
Uh, Hi. I'm from Rymar County Engineering here in Colorado. And
Okay.
so first, I have a few questions. First is, are you set up in Colorado? I was told by one of my colleagues that he has seen contractors here using this system in developments.
So
So,
I will be honest, I am not certain. I know I personally have not gotten to Colorado yet. We've been kind of working from the East Coast west. So I know we're set up in South Carolina, North Carolina, Georgia, Ohio. We have in Tennessee, we have state approvals. I'm not certain if we have. Typically, our process is to go to the state first, make sure the state says yes, this meets our CGP requirements. Um, it service. So if you're in a pretty rural area, it's not going to give you web access, there. So, but most developments typically happening where we've got, cell coverage so you can get to it. I will have to get with the owners and find out where we stand on Colorado. I do not know the answer to that.
okay. Like I said, one of my colleagues said that he has seen this on job sites. So
Okay.
whether it's the Rymar system or something else, I'm not sure. But
Yeah.
but that was
I'm
my
not
second question: is how do state inspectors,
right.
water quality division inspectors, how do they like this, and is it easy for them to access and that kind of
So
stuff?
the feedback we've gotten, again, this system is right at a year old. And we've kind of worked it mainly in South Carolina. We're based in Greenville, South Carolina. So, what we have seen in the local area is the inspectors now, when they have a pre-con, they're asking the contractors, "Hey, are you going to have a job box? Or are you going to use digital site box?" And the feedback has been it is a time saver. They can, if they've got a big rain happens, right? They can jump in and look at the most recent inspection reports. And, again, you're relying on third-party inspectors, and we understand that that's not always completely reliable. But for the most part, they're going to report if they had any major problems. And then your inspectors can say, hey, I need to get out to this site to check it out because they had a blowout or issue hasn't been fixed. Or, hey, everything's still buttoned up, pictures look good. That doesn't need to be a priority that day. So that's what the feedback I've gotten from the county inspectors has been, it helps them prioritize where they need to go and where their inspections need to be. And if everything looks good, I know enforcement inspections are always a challenge, right? Just manpower and getting to stuff. And so the ability to look at that without having to drive to the site, get out, open the box, find it, see if it's even up to date has been a pretty big time saver.
Yeah. Yeah. And then I'm wondering at the state level. So, like here in Colorado, we have the Colorado Department of Health and Environment, the Water
Right.
Quality Control Division. They have their inspectors that do pretty much random inspections on jobs, whether they're in MS4s or not. And so I'm wondering if that in those states that are using it, if those state inspectors kind of like it too. I like the idea, being time stamped for things, especially for updating plan sheets and where BMPs are, where maintenance has been done and all that kind of
Right.
stuff is like a pretty good
Yeah.
feature of it.
I know with and we're kind of learning how different states do things, right? I mean, again, the folks that came up with this are based in South Carolina. I've worked in probably 20 states, but still don't know how every state does things. And so if a state agency, or let's just say there's an MS4 that is multiple counties or multiple cities, we can go set them up so they've got access to as much as they need. That takes a little back end manual on our side, but not a problem to do it at all. Just a simple request. Typically within 24 hours, we can have that completed. Um, but if if you're just an MS4 and just have that county or that city within the county, that's really easy. The other we can add where you have access to multiple. If you're a state and you need access to every site in the state, your list's probably going to be really long. One thing that I didn't point out on the projects is you can favorite them. So you can kind of click that little star and say, hey, I need to keep an eye on these, but these others, maybe they're in a holding pattern or whatever. So you can prioritize the ones that you need to be, keep your eye on.
Yeah. Okay. Um, and then last thing is that so here in Colorado we have something called the Colorado Stormwater Council, which is a council of all the MS4s in the state, and
Okay.
they have a construction committee. And so I'm thinking that doing the same presentation maybe at one of the meetings or the construction committee meeting might
Yep.
be really helpful for those MS4s to learn about this. And
You,
so if you want to send me an email, and I'll forward that on to the construction committee chair.
okay.
And because they do presentations at their meetings all the time, things
Yeah.
exactly like this. So
We'd be
that would
happy
be
to do that, and we'll figure out if it needs to be in person or virtual. We've got a full sales force that's being implemented now to work on different states. And so, wherever the strongest interest is, that's kind of where we're setting up to go. So, if Colorado says, hey, we like this and we're ready to go, then we'll again, at this point, our main focus is educating MS4s. What we don't want
yeah,
to do is have a contractor put it up on a site and you go, what the heck is it? Right. So we,
yeah,
we understand we
right.
understand that we want to get that out, make sure you're aware, not get too far out over our skis, and get you set up before we start really pushing in that area.
Yeah, sounds great. It sounds like a really neat thing, and I work on our capital projects too, and we have a capital project now, and the third party inspector uh, erosion control supervisor has been using a Google folder,
Right.
for doing this, and there was nothing on site in terms of how to access that.
Yep.
Nobody, I think, on site had access to it. It's so something like this kind of solves a lot of those problems.
Yeah, yeah, I think that we've seen some other products out there that use QR codes or some sort of way to share information. It's typically proprietary and it's typically something a GC or site contractor has that's kind of their system, but it's hard to share with the regulatory community or meet the requirement for public access for stuff. And so, with
Yeah,
this, even a resident says, hey, I want to know what's going on, can create a free view account and get a look at things if they go through the process. So, yep.
yeah,
I appreciate your
cool.
question. I'll definitely email you and we'll get set up and I'll check with the owners here and find out if they've, got any in Colorado for sure. I haven't seen any other software that does what this does. There's some that are kind of similar. So there could be, something else that somebody's using that is somewhat similar. They may not be the same, but we'll definitely find out. So.
Okay, thanks.
Good. Great. Any other questions? I know I'm not going to try and take up too much of your time this morning, but if anybody else has a question, please let me know. Like I said, I am recording this. I'm going to go ahead and stop the recording now.